Hello and welcome to Public Conscience. This program draws attention to issues of good governance, citizens' participation, and corruption. The program is brought to you by the Progressive Impact Organization for Community Development, PRIMOG, in partnership with the MacArthur Foundation. I am Adelbi Obiabumo with Esther Bassi.
Thanks for joining us. The spelling of PRIMOG is P-R-I-M-O-R-G.
On Public Conscience, we seek to evolve a corruption-free society by drawing government and citizens' attention to corruption reports and issues for prompt democratic actions against them. We raise issues of national importance to increase your consciousness as a citizen and to hold leaders accountable. We also promote integrity by amplifying rare cases of the display of honesty by public and private individuals.
Well, every year, the federal government allocates a reasonable percentage of the national budget to build infrastructure. These funds run into trillions of naira. However, the management and judicious utilization of funds meant for capital projects over the years leaves so much to be desired. On today's program, we will be reviewing a new report by Tracker, Budget Service Delivery Monitoring Platform, on the performance of federal government-funded projects between August 2023 and September 2024.
Unfortunately, the report indicates that accountability in Nigeria's public project execution remains a serious problem, as out of the 1,404 projects tracked in the period under review, 720 were completed, 332 were still ongoing, 129 were abandoned or poorly executed, while 223 were not executed at all.
The report also exposes the efficiency rate of ministries, departments, and agencies of the government in project completion. We will further look at the loopholes exploited by contractors and MDAs to shortchange services delivered or service delivery and the best approach to change the narrative.
Today's program will draw the attention of the President Bola Tinubu-led administration, the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, and the Economic and Financial Crime Commission, EFCC, to the issues raised in the budget report. But for you out there, what do you think is responsible for the persistent poor and fraudulent project execution in Nigeria? Do you think enough is being done to combat the misappropriation of project funds by public officials? And are you aware of the zonal intervention projects in your constituencies?
Be ready to join us through phone and text messages during this conversation. The WhatsApp phone line to send your messages, 0902-265-6167. That is 0902-265-6167. Please indicate your name and your location when sending your message. This number is for messages only.
Please begin to send your messages as soon as possible to 0902-265-6167. That is 0902-265-6167. We will give out the numbers to call shortly.
If you just joined us, we are reviewing a new report by Tracker, which is Budget Service Delivery Monitoring Platform, on the performance of federal government-funded projects between August 2023 and September 2024. In this period under review, the report says out of the 1,404 projects tracked, 720 were completed, 332 projects were ongoing, 129 abandoned or fraudulently executed, and 223 projects were not executed at all. Nigeria has a huge infrastructural deficit and requires up to $3 trillion over the next 30 years to bridge this gap.
But for more on the report, we are being joined on the phone from Lagos by the acting head of Tracker Budget Foundation, Oshiyemi Joshua. Thank you for being here, Joshua.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Good morning.
We also have in the studio Usman Mohammed, who is a community champion, Gwagwalada Area Council Budget. You're welcome to the program, Usman.
Good morning.
Well, we will start today's conversation first from our friend in Lagos. How is Lagos this morning, Joshua?
Absolutely fine. It's okay. Thank you so much.
All right, let's quickly dive into your report. Could you give us a background of the report? And why should Nigerians be bothered?
All right, so from the title of the report, which is Achieving National Development Through Efficient Service Delivery, you will get to understand that this is actually something that brought us into this, which is the service is very important, but how you deliver the services are also as important as even the service itself, or even more important, we have discovered over time that this blame trading between the National Assembly, the FDA, the contractors, and all of that. And so we decided to delve into, what's actually happening with the service delivery sector that's actually supposed to give these services to the Nigerian populace. And quite interesting when you discover that what you have in the publication that we have developed is not a law that's been reviewed from that publication. And it's going to be of national concern to us because all of these do culminate into the budget connectivity, the budget performance, how is that budget actually faring in Nigeria, what are the factors that are contributing to how our budgets are performing on a daily basis, So it is of concern to us because all of this money we are talking about belongs to all of us as Nigerians. It is our commonwealth, and you cannot just take your eyes off your own particular money because if you have a certain amount of money, for example, you expect that this sum will be useful for a particular thing, and if you are not getting what it's actually meant to do, it is just expedient that you speak of, and then you possibly call back the services of the people who are actually meant to deliver this thing.
Okay, Joshua.
From president of the National Assembly down to the implementing agencies, the ministries, and down to the contractors, you will discover that this level of condition that you have, and that is impeding the national growth, which the budget is actually made to achieve. Yeah.
Okay, so it's good that you mentioned that it's a commonwealth because some Nigerians are yet to come to terms with that. They still believe that monies meant for constituency projects belong to some of the legislators. But let's get into specifics. Where or what are those? If you can give us examples, maybe two of some of the unethical insertions, funds misappropriated, or projects that were shabbily done. Let's hear more on that.
All right, so let me give you an example of even because you have copious examples of that. So let me even start with this, that in that particular project, that's the 2023-2024 project I'm talking about now. The report itself is focusing on the 2023 implementation. And then we have what we particularly tried was 1,404 projects. It was that abysmal because of the methodologies we used this time. So we had to go back to the field, check updates as often as possible to be sure that some of the projects that were completed at the time we reported them as completed, are they still functional? Are they still serving the people? The ones that we reported as ongoing, what is the current status of this project? So that was the reason why we adopted that, and that's why we got that. But out of this, we discovered that 130 of these projects were not even, were done, but were abandoned halfway. And then we have 89 of these projects were actually funded. 89 of these projects were funded, and the sum that was allocated to this was 14.3 billion naira. Right? So that's that on one side. We have on the other side that there are projects that were actually funded, but not done at all. So the total number of projects that we tracked that were not done was 22. But the ones that were funded were 56, which summed up to the 3.41 billion naira. So it's of great concern to us and should be for Nigeria because these monies we are talking about, they are very important. So if there are proper oversight on the part of the people that should be doing it, I believe that we will not be having all of this. So we can even leave the side of abandonment now and come to the side of the projects that are not even done at all.
So for
the government, you go money from the federal government, and then all of a sudden you disappear into the 3 years, nothing is being done on this project at all.
So for the projects that funds were...
Just like you mentioned, let me give you an example. Some examples we have in Niger State, for example, where we were told to a particular contractor, Chilazell Nigeria Limited and Bethel Ferry Nigeria Limited, the two of them got 200 million for the provision of hospital equipment in Niger State, particularly in Paiku and Suyin local government. And what we discovered was that these materials were actually procured from our findings, but were kept in the local government.
Why? Was any reason given for that?
So the senator in charge was Senator Sani Mohammed in Niger, and then the information we got was he has kept it to be distributed at a particular time. So this kind of project now, he will bring it out and then share to people. Meanwhile, how is it going to be beneficial? Because these are even sensitive materials. These are materials that are thematic to a particular sector, the health sector for crying out loud. So these are some of the issues that we'll find up and down. In Abia State, for example, the 1 kilometer road that was supposed to be in Kafia, in Bende local government, it was actually done, but just 6 months into the project, you discovered that we have potholes all over the roads.
So it was shabbily done.
It was shabbily done. That's the meaning. And that's we have countless examples of all of this all around. There are projects that are delivered but not open to people for them to have access to. That we have to be liaising with maybe the local MDs, the state MDs to now take. Why are these places still under local keys? Why are you not opening it to these people before it takes place sometimes? And other times it just turns their face and that's what you have all around. You have the national state, for example, where you have the farewell, welcome to national state farewell, this kind of, what do you call it now, that you have at the entrance of every community. So it's going to be done for maybe 1.4 million, 1.4 billion. But 400 million was even paid to the contractor. But we discovered that nothing of such was even ongoing on that side.
You said the project is for 1.4 billion. Joshua, can you hear me? 1.4 billion. To erect the structure, welcome to a certain community.
Exactly, yes.
Is that amount not too much? Well, let's quickly you mentioned the fact... Okay, you mentioned the fact that some contractors... Can you hear me, Joshua? You mentioned initially that some contractors funds were released for some contractors to implement projects, but they were not implemented. Did you try to reach out to the contractors to know why they did not implement the projects?
So I'm so sorry. The national project is actually worth 1.18 billion, but 401 million was actually released for that project. All right. So back to your question about reaching out to contractors.
Yeah.
It will also interest you to know that when we do all of this, we try as much as possible to make the report as balanced as possible. So definitely we want to explain that we will reach out to some of these contractors, but what you get in most cases is even the contractor that you are seeing on the project description that you have will not even eventually be the one that is handling the project. And so we flagged as another issue the problem of illegal subcontracting of projects to other contractors. So as let me explain how that happens. So the contractor actually gets this from the MDA and then from the agency now, and then when they get the money, it's just going to be like an afternoon to get the money from the MDA, maybe because you have a gift paper and all of that, and then now go to now give this particular project to another contractor entirely. So we have seen cases of this in so many instances, but we try as much as possible to get to these contractors. But I just mentioned, information. Some of the bottlenecks that we have around this is illegal contractor because we don't eventually get to know who is actually handling this program. And then sometimes when you get across with them, they're not giving you any response. So some of them will not even have presence online. When you try to check their website, it's not active. You try to check their records on CAC, you're not getting anything. Some of them don't even have active
All right.
CAC registration.
All right, Joshua, aside from the fact that you mentioned that the MDAs are used as channels to, of getting funds across to the contractors, what other roles do these MDAs, the ministries, departments, and agencies, what other roles do they play in the rate of abandoned projects that we have?
All right, so I mentioned collision as well. When I say collision, this is what I mean. You have cases where the MD is supposed to perform oversight on some of these projects or all of these projects. You have them conniving with the contractors. So they already have an agreement on what am I going to get from this when I give this to you and all of that. So the procurement processes needs to be beefed up. We need to work more on that to ensure that this is well done. So oversight is one issue that it's very critical to what we are talking about. Another one is the fact that there's no cohesion between some of the state agencies and the one that you have in the federal. And I'm going to give you an instance of the project that we tracked in Osun State. It is the construction and equipping of a particular center that is not even existing. I think it's the PhD, that's what they call it. And they released money to a contractor, about 83 million naira to the contractor. And then when we tracked it, we discovered that this project was not in existence. So we did all that we could on that particular project. In fact, while we were doing what we were doing, ICIR also wrote an article about that same project. We went to the office in Osun State. We said they don't know anything about it. We went to the zonal office in Lagos. They said it is not within their jurisdiction, that the southwest jurisdiction is where we should go to, which is going to be part of Oyo State. We visited in Oyo State. They said they don't know anything about it. We wrote to the Pharmacy Council of Nigeria, that's the agency in charge of this project.
Okay.
Till today, this project is still not available. We're still not cannot say this exactly what's happening to this project. Despite the fact that we wrote several FOI letters to the pharmacy councils in different places across the country. So there's no cohesion. So peradventure, the Lagos, I went to the Lagos office myself, to make demands on this kind of a project. But unfortunately, we can't even get anything out of this. So you have all of these as issues that we battle with the contractors and the MPAs particularly.
Okay, let's quickly shift to the legislators who nominate this project. Is it enough to just nominate projects? Shouldn't legislators ensure that the projects are implemented to ensure Nigerians get value for money? What do you think the legislators need to do more to ensure that projects are completed, despite the fact that we know that some of them are not saints?
This is the fact that some of them are not what?
Saints. Some of them are fingered in some of the corruption going on.
So this thing is just a word, it's a word, and then it's very difficult for you to be able to permeate all of these structures. So most of this time, what we get is that even the NAS itself is basic. And this can be backed up by several evidences that you, even yourself, I want to believe that you should know. In 2021, they started more than 4,000 projects into the budget. 2022, more than 4,000 projects into the budget. 2023, more than 5,000. 2024, they started about 7,447 projects into the budget. What? More than 3 billion, So when we continue to do all of this, it is already telling us that we are setting a tone that you yourself cannot be the check that you're not going to be impacting into MDs. And the funniest part of it is that most of the MDs is now cite this project in don't even have the capacity, they don't have the mandate to be able to carry out this kind of projects. So it is just best for the NAS to perform their oversight function. Let them focus more on their lawmaking and oversight.
All right.
Just as good as that, because you cannot be a judge over your own case.
All right. All right. We've gotten that.
There will be biases, so you can't even talk.
All right, Joshua. Joshua, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
All right. So let's just move straight to after publishing your report. Are the federal government and anti-graft agencies aware of the findings in your report? And what advice would you give to the current administration on tackling or taking actions against the infrastructures uncovered in your report as we begin to wrap up?
So please, can you take the last part of the question?
Okay, what would be your advice to the current administration on taking necessary actions against infrastructure that you uncovered, or infractions rather, that you uncovered during your investigation and that you reported in the report you published?
Yeah, thank you so much. So they are aware. So we don't do this alone because the power that we have is just for us to be able to discover some of these things, some of these anomalies. It's just that. And then what we try to do again is to seek the sympathy of Nigerians on all of this to ensure that they can also call out their representatives, to be able to do this. Of course, the National Assembly, part of their function is to ensure that any matter of national interest should be something that catches their attention. So back to the anti-graft agency knowing about this. So definitely they do, because we have a partnership with both the ICPC and the USCC. And of course, even before we launched the report, we have already sent out just a few of these projects that we have discovered in projects we have sent to them. And we have told them to carry out their independent investigation. If they need our assistance, definitely will be available to all the sources. But they should go ahead to carry out their investigation on all of this and possibly bring the corporates into justice. But this is it. Our advice would be that we must follow this through. And this is the reason. If somebody is perpetrating a particular habit that is not good, and there's no justice in that cause, what you get to find out in most cases is it can be perpetrated as much as possible by so many other people. So this is going to serve as deterrent to others who get projects from the federal government or even the state or local government and then are not willing to do. And we get to discover that there are lots more that are not even saying all of this.
Okay.
So I want to believe that the anti-graft agency knows what to do, and I'm sure that with the promises that we have gotten from them, they will swing into action as soon as possible.
Thank you so much. We also hope that they would also swing into action. Thank you so much, Oshiyemi Joshua, who is the acting head of Tracker Budget Foundation, for your time, and also to the team in Lagos. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're most welcome. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, if you're just joining us, this is Public Conscience, a production of the Progressive Impact Organization for Community Development. We still have in the studio Usman Mohammed, who is the community champion, Gwagwalada Area Council Budget. You're welcome once again.
Good morning, I'm Usman Mohammed, a community champion for Tracker, Nigeria.
All right. Let's quickly, you're the one in touch with the people back here. How would you react to the report? Is it something you've seen in Gwagwalada Area Council, or are there differences in some of the findings?
Okay, seriously, there are very big gap, let me say like this, because the difference is very clear. If you go back and go to the feed, you find out that what is on paper is different than what is on ground. Because the whole project in Gwagwalada Area Council is nothing to write home about. Because let's take example, the first problem we're having with
the whole project.
Yes, there's nothing to write home about. Because 2023 budget, 2024 budget, some of them are still yet not on ground. That is one. Two, the project cannot even last for like 1 year because of low standard material. If we should take like two sectors, the primary healthcare and the primary school, you find that in FCT here we still have, let me say, around the 62 ward. It's very hard for you to get a standard primary school that is up to 2 or 3. There are children still sitting on the ground. The class are so dilapidated in the whole rural community in FCT. I can boast of that. You can go and make that research, because currently those children don't have classes. If it is during rainy season, they need to go home immediately when the weather changes, because there is no class for them to sit. The primary healthcare also is there. Let's take example of the recent primary healthcare that our distinguished senator is still going. It's an ongoing project, 50 capacity building.
Which of the senators nominated?
Senator Ireti Kingibe.
Okay.
So, only that project alone cost a lot. To my own opinion, for we to have a standard hospital like that, where we have the rural community in Gwagwalada, those hospitals are dilapidated. They need renovation. Now you go to the local rural area, let me say in Dobi, constructing like 50-bed capacity building where they have 2 hospitals there. They have the outreach of University of Abuja, and they also have their own primary health care. Now you are still constructing another primary health care. Wow, it's a kudos. But what is there is the money supposed to be like, let's renovate other primary health care, because you can see somebody living like 10 to 30 kilometers for him to come to Dobi. At least there are hospitals around that you can also be able to say, okay, let me go to Soso Hospital or Soso, let me renovate it and facilitate it.
Instead of nominating another new project.
No new project. That is what is causing all this issue. There are projects that are on ground. Let me renovate it. Because the whole of this hospital have been there. The whole of this school have been there. What is wrong? So you found out that those primary schools, up till now, they are still at stake. There is nothing to write home about.
Okay, we will get back to you, but we need to get the person listening to us at the other end of the dial to join the conversation, because Nigerian citizens are supposed to be the beneficiaries of this project.
All right, please follow us on our social media platforms at Official Primorg. Primorg is spelled Primorg. Remember that we are streaming live on Facebook at Official Primorg.
And remember that the program is interactive. The WhatsApp phone line to send your message to is 0902 265 6167. 0902 265 6167. We would like to know what your perception would be in this regard. Are there constituency projects in your community? Did you bother to get involved? Were you carried along in the course of the nomination of this project? Was there a needs assessment done? Are you worried of the shabbily project executed in our communities? We've heard from our guests in Lagos what has happened. And we still have in the studio Usman Mohammed, who has also expressed some of the concerns or observations in the course of tracking some of the projects in the community. Would like you to join the conversation. Usman, let me get back to you. I know that in the course of interaction with some other stakeholders in this regard, we've had situations where they went to the community to intimate the citizens of some of the projects in their communities and also the infractions. And you hear some community members say, leave the legislator, now we get him. Even if he steals, it's our money that he has stolen. We are comfortable with it. Is this the same in some of the communities? And what do you think the challenge is? Is it that the citizens are not properly sensitized enough, or they are just comfortable with lack of facilities in their communities?
Okay, there is one thing. Let me go like this. They say, if it is a thief, let it be my own thief.
This is our thief. Leave him.
Leave him. So regarding this issue, you see, sometimes if you go to the rural communities, most projects you find in rural community that is not okay is because the first thing is the contractor threaten those people that if you go talk, we will remove them. Do you get what I'm saying? If you go talk, let me use this English. If you go talk, we no go do them. So from there they began to say, oh, it's better let's have little than zero. A primary school where I know, and a hospital currently that in Kaida Sabo. What happened was, this hospital was rehabilitation project. Let me see, it's a rehabilitation project. But between the contractor and the community engagement person, let me say the middleman within the contractors and the
personnel from the
community, were now in conjunction, because the project said that they'll bring 25%, the community, and the project will now bring 75%. It's okay. At least it's a rural community. The 25% will come out like, okay, we are going to get sand, we are going to get
maybe laborers,
we are going to get wood, and it is even more than 25% because they will get what they want. But you could find out that hospital was roofed with 2x2.
But was that what was specified in the bill of quantity?
That was not what is specified. The borehole they did was just 2 days, it stopped working. So they leave them with image or picture and take. It's just like you eat biscuit and you throw the leather wire. Anybody will catch her, you catch her.
Okay. While we try to understand the gravity of how this thing affects the community dwellers, how do you identify some of these projects that you go to track? How do you come about it?
Okay, the first thing here is about the project. You see, in a community where you live, they say person will get house, now you know where they live, isn't it? So, as a community champion, you don't need to sit. You keep moving from one community to another, from this community to another. All about go and meet them. The first thing you do, you need to have a town hall meeting with them. When you have a town hall meeting with them, they'll express themselves. So from there, when they heard of anything, they'll call you, okay, so person have come, if you want to write a letter. But what I'm going to say here is, most of the projects that we're having problem is this. We don't used to sit with people who have the experience, who know the community. Because in a community they have borehole. Let me say, in my community we have everything. Let me say we have little. Let me not say
which
everything.
community is that?
No, let me say not everything. We have little. Now, we have borehole. We are still bringing borehole. Where is that borehole going to? We need to sit with people. Okay, we want
so there was no need assessment.
There was no need assessment. Before you do any project, you need to have need assessment. That is why for a legislator to have good assessment, what you need to do, you need to have like a representative from every local government or from every area council. At least this person know the in and out of this community. And this person is somebody, it must not be a party loyalist. It must be somebody that has no in and out of that community. So if today you are having a project of hospital, you know where they need that hospital most. But there is no any need assessment. You just saw picture, okay, these people need water, oh, you just. And some of them, it is not that they need new borehole, they need rehabilitation, they need renovation. We have a community that have over 5 boreholes. They are not working, and you are still going to build another one, which it will not last for like 1 year. Just leave it 1 month.
Is it lack of needs assessment? You are the one on ground, you are the one on the field.
Yeah.
Is it the lack of needs assessment that is causing abandonment of projects, non-execution of projects? Is that what is causing it?
Yeah, it also contributes because why need assessment is important. These are people that know what they need. And they will tell you, this is what we need. If you go to all rural communities in Gwagwalada, you will not find out any standard primary school. You must find dilapidated classes. So now, if you are doing need assessment, you start from those ones that you know they need serious attention, isn't it? So, if you are coming, please, we shouldn't mind the headmasters, because some of them are also contributing factors to that. We should only have contact with the village head or the youth. Let it be an open space. Bring group of people. Talk to them. Okay, this is the project we are going to do. This is the money. But they don't usually say the money.
Why?
Because, yeah,
Why?
But don't you think that they should be transparent in their dealings with the community members?
There is no transparency because if today I want to do project, the first person that will come, I'll tell you I want to see the chief or the village head. Immediately I reach, if I know this project would worth millions of naira, I'll come with something different. I'll buy a car.
So
I bought him a car. No, I'm coming soon. If I bought a car for him, from there I'll tell you, okay, I want to do small something here. I've already buy his what? His mind, and he will be loyal to me. But if today you have a group of youth, definitely you have people that know what they are doing. A group of individuals, there are people that will not agree. Okay, go like this. No, this is what our children need, and this is what our people need. If today I'm coming to buy a community, or I want to do a project, they gave me so amount, but you people will bring so amount. But if you have resources that will come, I will let you know so that it will replace that cost. You find out that even the cost of that project will be less. Because the cost of bringing sand, the cost of bringing timbers or woods will be less. The cost of labor will be less because a community will say, okay, all the youth should come out. Let's go and do this work. And they will do it with their own mindset because this is my community. But they don't do that.
Okay, let's shift to some projects that are completed, because it's not as if all the projects were not completed or shabbily done. There are some projects that were completed. Let's take, for instance, borehole. What do you think should be the role of community members in maintaining some of these projects? You mentioned some communities that they have over about 5 boreholes already sunk, and they are not functioning. Should they go back to the legislator to say our borehole is not functioning anymore? Maybe just a question of 50,000 naira to fix it. What do you think community members need to do to ensure that they maintain projects cited in their communities?
Okay, you see, like that borehole, I know a community where they look for an old man that will sit close to that borehole.
Okay,
If you are fetching a bucket, you pay like 10 naira, 20 naira. They will use it for what? For maintenance. At least it's okay. And if you are pumping, you say no, stop. Why? Because he wants that borehole to last long. That is why you see, even if it is an hospital, you see they look for local vigilante to stay there because they want that project to be what? Good. So that is how they deal about the maintenance. And sometimes single-handedly, the community member, example, road, they will announce everybody should come out. If you do not come, they will fine you. But they will maintain it.
That's good.
Okay, so definitely we've seen that contractors and citizens are also used to for this misappropriation of projects. How can we begin to deter people from going into such acts? Have you seen anyone being punished before?
Punish? Is it the community person or the contractor?
Anybody that is fingered in misappropriation.
Seriously, it's very hard for you to see someone that has been punished.
So you have not seen anyone at all?
I've not seen them because they didn't say the amount. They only come. You that want to talk, they'll threaten you. And when they want to threaten you, they'll threaten you with what they'll go and tell the security personnel is different from what you are doing.
So you've not been able to get anyone accountable even after your report has been released?
It's very hard to get to one.
Why? I mean, you see these things, it's as if there are no evidence. There are evidence everywhere.
There are evidence because look, there was a project I know somebody tracked. They report into the community head that this person is a bad finger. He don't want this project here. Why? Because they have buy their mindset. They have already buy them. So this issue of the whole of project accountability, the first thing you need to do is need assessment. And when you want to do need assessment, it should be an open need assessment, not an individual need assessment. That is number one. Two, we should also have good representation of individuals that will come. Because if you are bringing this to this community, they will divide themselves. I know community like they will divide themselves. So area B, or so place B. will come to stay and watch this thing. So place will come and watch this place. But some projects now that are doing is good, but some, it depends on where it is coming from.
Where it is coming from?
Yes, like the contractor himself. The major problem of project is the contractors.
How?
Why? Because they only see project as the place of making money. But it's not from them. The legislators should be very careful because of your aides. Some of your aides also contribute in that, because they will say, I will go get project for you, but you will give me my share.
But it's not the aid that nominates projects. It's not the aid that it's the MDA that implements.
Through the MDA, they must have a connection with the MDA. We are all Nigerians. They must know somebody before you become somebody, according to our people, isn't it? So before that project is coming, or either like what they normally do is the MDA will come, but those workers, like supply, will come from them.
Is it possible in any way, looking at it, is it possible for us to stop this, or even at least try to reduce it? Because it's as if it's happening every year and it's becoming a norm. We are okay with it. Is it possible for us to reduce or even stop it?
It's possible.
What then should we do?
Both
the legislators, the MDAs,
even
contractors,
the
citizens.
The first thing that you do is, if you are having a project, I still say it, have people at your side. I want to do this project. Broadcast it. Make it an open. Go to the media. This is the project I'm doing, and this is the contractor. Or you yourself, you should go there. I've given so person this money, and this money is with him for this project. This community hold him accountable. Go with him. Do you think they will not hold him?
Who should go? Is it the legislator?
Yes.
But it's not the legislator that gives the money. The money is domiciled in an MDA. The legislator nominates. It's the MDA who implements. So the contractor goes. Are you saying that the contractors also come from the legislators?
Some come from them.
Okay, so what you're saying now is transparency.
Transparency.
We need to know the nature of the projects nominated. We need to know the amount, the figures.
Yes.
We need specifications in the bill of quantity. If it's road, what's the meter? What's the depth? What quality of XYZ needed? And the name of the contractors. The community members should be carried along.
Yes. Let me give you an example. The 50 capacity bed building they are doing. Before they drop anything, the community member is there. They count it.
Oh, good.
Why? Because the legislator have somebody in the community, and the community now say, okay, since this is our own project, let's have a security personnel there, those local vigilante. They are the one guiding the hospital, because what? It is an open one for them. You understand? They bring an incubator. They told them, okay, this is an incubator. They see it. Because that is an open what? And today this hospital is well. Anything they are doing, you see that anything they are doing, they snap it and send it to her. Because why? She know what it takes for her to build that hospital. Because this hospital will save the life of people. But if today I'm rehabilitating an hospital, I just come, you will not see anything. You just see catacomb, bam. See cement, bam. From there, how we go do?
Please, what is catacomb for the person listening? Wood, right?
Wood, yes.
Okay.
You just see and bam. How you go do?
Okay.
You talk, they go say, we go carry and we go leave the project for you. You know, get talk. You better make keep quiet, because the small way you get manager.
But
Wow.
citizens, I still believe that citizens need to be aware that this project is funded with their own money. Your colleague mentioned it's our common wealth. So I think there's a disconnect, there's a gap from the nature of sensitization that citizens get. If not, if they are aware, or if they were aware, there's no way the contractor would have threatened them and they would have kept quiet, because they know they are right. So I still believe that the capacity of citizens needs to be built in this regard.
Yes. Why? They need to know about most of the things, because the government cannot do it alone. The NGOs need more field workers and community champions that will go into that field I will be giving their report.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Have you been threatened before in the course of doing this job?
Maybe one, maybe two.
Okay, it's
I
good.
don't leave our house for 4 months.
We sincerely appreciate your courage. Despite the fact that you've been threatened, I know it's not all rosy out there talking about accountability and transparency. It's not that easy. Some people may not understand, but thank you for your courage. Thank you for your persistence. And thank you for the work you do. But as we wrap up because of our time, in 1 minute, what would be your advice to the current administration?
Seriously, let them look into the primary need of an individual or community, and let them have an open assessment, and let them also have good representation in every local government, the 774. Please, if we are going to have an open assessment and also good representation, it is going to what? Everything is going to be okay.
All right, thank you so much. You have heard from our guest, Joshua Oshiyemi from Lagos, and also Usman Mohammed here in Gwagwalada Area Council, talking about the implementation of zonal intervention projects and some of the infractions: unethical insertions, misappropriation of funds, abandoned projects, and the fact that there's no value for money as a result of the quest for money and corruption from some of the legislators and the contractors, and some community members are also culpable in some of the findings from Budget Foundation. But we really need to wrap up. You should get involved. It belongs to you. It belongs to me. We are all from communities, so get interested, get involved. If you are more knowledgeable in your community, speak to somebody. We can never undermine the place of capacity building and sensitization in our various communities. We really need to go.
Please visit our news website, primognews.org, that is primognews.org. For all the details of our reports and interviews, visit our website, www.primog.org, to get all the information about Primog.
And you can watch our videos on Primog TV, our YouTube channel. Please subscribe to get reminders when we have a new post. We sincerely appreciate our guest, Usman Mohammed, Community Champion, Gwagwalada Area Council Tracker. Thank you so much for the job you do.
Thank you very much.
Our sincere appreciation also goes to the acting head of Tracker, Budget Foundation, Oshiyemi Joshua, who spoke to us via the phone from Lagos. Public Conscience has the support of the John D. and Catherine T. MacArthur Foundation, committed to building a more just, verdant, and peaceful world. Get more information about the foundation on its website, macfound.org.
Join us again here next week for another episode of Public Conscience, and remember to follow us on our Facebook, X, and formerly known as Twitter account at Official Primog. I am Esther Bassi.
Remember that birth registration and birth certificates are free if your child is under 18. Help stop the corruption in birth registration and do not pay for birth certificates. Also remember that you can give us information or hints about corrupt acts through our phone at 090-2265-6167. That is 0902-265-6167. I am Adelby Obiabumo. Thank you for listening.